Hey everyone, Anthony Scott here, ToyHypeUSA.com. Today we are reviewing Hasbro's newly released Transformers Legacy Evolution Antagony figure. She is available now and pre-orders are still available at site sponsor Entertainment Earth. Special shout out and thank you to Entertainment Earth for sending her along for review. It's greatly appreciated. 10% off any in-stock item and free USA shipping on orders $79 plus just by using the links in the YouTube description or the hyperlinks off of ToyHypeUSA.com. Thank you in advance for using those links. She was originally offered back at BotCon 1998, and this is the first time that she's offered outside that particular show. That exclusive figure that year only had 600 pieces made, so it is quite rare. So most people won't have this character, so Hasbro is offering her now. She is a repaint of Inferno, and she comes in this exclusive brown box, which you see here, which we've seen them do with some exclusive Transformers figures before. Here's a look at the sides, plastic-free packaging. They are still doing that, but that will likely change across the board. Here's a look at the other side. The back. The top has the logo. And here is a look at the bottom. The packaging is sealed, which you see right here. So I am going to cut that and open it on camera, giving you guys an in-hand look at the packaging. Here is a closer look at the figure. There's a piece of cardboard right over her, and you can just lift this up and out. The instructions are right there, and she is packaged right as shown. As you can see here, there is the front and you have the back here. I'm going to take her out of this package and let's take a closer look. Here's a look at her instructions. Again, as she's a repaint of Inferno, the transformation is going to be the same for both figures. Interchangeable head sculpt there. This is the robot mode. And here is the beast mode. Switching her into beast mode, and there's the final transformation right there. Here's a look at Antagony in robot mode. As I said, she was first offered at BotCon 1998, limited edition exclusive with 600 figures made. This is the first time she is offered outside a convention, so most people that collect Beast Wars won't already have this figure, which makes her an important addition to your collection. She is painted in a black and lavender deco and is a repaint from Transformers Legacy Inferno, which we're going to be taking a closer look at. I have him right over here. The detail to the sculpt looks phenomenal. All that same attention to detail that Inferno had, you get on Antagony as well. The acrylic purple eyes on the ant are on both sides, as well as his head sculpt here, which is painted in a kind of like a light purple. He also has a Predacon logo on his right shoulder, which you see right there. Let's try to bring that a little bit closer so you guys can see that. And on the back, you have some very nicely done paint applications right there. The lavender really shines. And here's a look at the sides of that. On the bottom, this is where the blaster is going to plug into, so she can fly just as you remember from the comic, or as Inferno did on the Beast Wars television series. Here's a look at her blaster, which is purple and dark gray. It can fit in either one of her hand sculpts, and she's got a really good grip on it. Not only can it fit in the hand sculpt, but on her back as well, and I'll demonstrate that, just as it did for Inferno. Here's a closer look at the blaster. Here's the front, as well as the other side. Here's a look at the blaster in the left hand. Here's a look at the back jetpack, which plugs right into the back of her butt, which you see there. These pieces are on hinge joints, so you can move them to your delight, just as Inferno did. and the gun stays in pretty well. If you remember from the cartoon, Inferno could use this to fly. So that is what the purpose is here. Just aim it down a little bit and she can take off. Antagony is also fully articulated, including a hinged jaw. You just lift the top head of the head up and the jaw lifts up. Swivel neck. Swivel hinge shoulders. Swivel biceps. Double hinged elbows. Swivel wrists. Swivel waist. Ball joint or swivel hinged hips. Swivel thighs. Hinged knees. And the ankles can swivel as this. However, they're really not supposed to be moved like that. So I don't know if to call that the articulation point necessarily, but it's important to include it in there. And these back pieces here, these are all unhinged joints. So you can move 1, 2, 3, 4, and the piece connected to his back, that's 5. Here's a look at Antagony's alternate head sculpt. As I'm sure some of you guys will realize, this head is most memorable for Transmetal's Scavenger vintage toy from Hasbro in the late 90s. In the TV series, Inferno wasn't given a Transmetal's body like other Beast Wars characters. However, he was given a Transmetal's vintage toy with a new name, again, Scavenger. And that figure has really nowhere to be found as far as a modern update. She, as well as Inferno, comes with the head. Here's a closer look at this head sculpt. It is phenomenal. A lot of great attention to detail here. Horns right there on top in a dark metallic gray, which you can see there. Metallic purple, metallic turquoise as well. And here is a look at the back of the head. Here's a comparison of Antagony with Inferno. You'll see the vast difference in paint apps here. Here's a look at the back for both figures. Here's a look at Antagony's Beast Mode, a black and lavender carpenter ant, which has the same sculpted details as Inferno. Beast Mode is a little bit complicated to transform, especially the legs on the back here, as there is a very certain way you have to do it. But here's a look at all sides. You see this has to be perfectly inside the back here. And showing you guys the bottom, what I mean, the legs have to be just right. The hips have to be plugged in this way. And the legs have to be bent as shown so that the feet and everything can fit in here perfectly. This took me a little bit longer than I expected to transform her correctly. So I just wanted to give you guys a look at that. The head sculpt, phenomenally done. The pinchers here can swivel as shown. So here's your look at that articulation. And the antennas can also swivel up and down as shown. The legs can also swivel, all 6 of them. Here is a comparison with Inferno. Again, she is a repaint and sculpt very nicely done. Here's a look at all the sides, giving you guys a complete look. The legs are a little bit on the loose side, so just be aware of that as you're turning the figures. And here is a look at the back. On the tops of the figures, there is a hole for the blasters to be plugged into so they can fire in beast mode, as shown. Here is a closer look at that. Overall, Antagony is a fantastic figure. I think fans are going to love. Long overdue for a modern update, as she was last offered at BotCon 1998. And she was a limited edition figure of only 600 pieces, so most people won't have her in their Beast Wars or Transformers collection overall. My recommendation would be to pick her up. Thank you again to site sponsor Entertainment Earth for sending her along for review. It's greatly appreciated. 10% off in stock and free USA shipping on orders of $79 plus. I am Anthony Scott at ToyHypeUSA.com. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more coverage and reviews.